I have a feeling that even after I watch the finale, episode 7 will still be my favorite episode of the first season of Reacher. It does not get much better than this for Jack Reacher fans. This episode has it all. The things that go down in this episode, I've always felt like this is the pinnacle of the Killing Floor book. Like the absolute best part of the story, even better than the final resolution. But that beautiful and brutal fight/kill scene where Reacher takes out his would-be assassins isn't the only great part about this episode. It starts off early in the episode, pulling straight from the books when they show you another flashback of Reacher and Joe, and the fact that Reacher's mother calls his brother Joe, but calls him Reacher. Like I said, straight from the source material. I don't remember when or where. I don't even know if it's in Killing Floor, but at some point in one of the books, someone asked Reacher what his mother called him, and he says, Reacher. She called me Reacher. What'd she call your brother? She called him Joe. She called me Reacher. Is it strange? Yes, but it is absolutely part of the Jack Reacher lore. And I love that they included it in this series. They've been doing a lot of cool things like that where they just insert just little things that hit the nail on the head and make it like, okay, they're adapting this in a fantastic manner. Like they're nailing everything. They're bringing the fans of the book series what they wanted so much out of the 2 movies that came out, a few years ago with Tom Cruise. So the whole point of the scene, though, is great because, we're learning something that was instilled in Jack at a young age. When his mother said, what will you do with all that size and strength? Basically asking him, are you going to use what you have for ill or for good? And that's it. That's all we get. And it's like, yeah, something's about to go down. Like Reacher's about to do what needs to be done. Anyway, that's early on in the episode. But this episode is jam-packed with great stuff. We finally get the revelation. Jack figures it all out, solves the mystery, at least for the most part. Doesn't exactly know who's behind everything yet, but figures things out. Anyway, let's get into it. So the episode starts out with Officer Stevenson, the guy who's been kind of suspicious acting the entire season. You don't know if he's a good guy. You don't know if he's in on it, what's going on. But it shows him and his wife, they're getting ready for bed, and it's clear they're expecting a child. Kind of a sweet little scene, and they're kind of they're on edge about what's going on. Cops being killed and stuff, it's scary business. So then, the next thing you see is the guys in the white suits coming into the house. So what's going to happen. They're about to get killed, and it's it's heart-wrenching, right? Because, it's sad, man. They're this young family, they're just getting started, and here it goes. Here come the bad guys. So Finley picks up Reacher at the airport, and, Reacher has on this ridiculous t-shirt that says, my kids went to New York, and all I got was this lame t-shirt or whatever. But he wants to go back and get the Bentley, but Finley's I need to go somewhere. And he shows up at Kleiner's funeral. And as he watches the younger Kleiners and Mayor Teal, put roses on the casket and stuff, one of the Kleiners, Dawson, comes over to confront Finley. He wants to know what he's doing there, threatens to cut him up, like he believes Finley did to Kleiner. He's accusing Finley of being the murderer. Yeah, so he threatens him, and that's the end of that. Unfortunately, for Stevenson and his wife, they are murdered. If you thought, it was to cover up another loose end, you'd be wrong. They both were tied to chairs directly across from each other. The killers even taped their eyes open and put mirrors around them to make him watch. So they're trying to get information out of him about Hubble. They're not taking him out. They're trying to torture him into telling what he knows. So he actually wasn't a bad guy, and that makes it even worse. All right, so all of this happens, and finally Mayor Teal, he's had enough, right? He fires Finley and tells Reacher, get the hell off the crime scene or he's going to be arrested. They form a plan. Reacher takes the last remaining officer, Baker, out to lunch, and he makes him think that he doesn't trust Finley. And he sets him up perfectly. This is so fantastic. He tells him that he's going to be staying at the Hubbles and that, he's going to be there all night. So, like, perfectly setting this guy up. Finley lets Stevenson's parents know about his passing. Reacher gets to work. Reacher goes to this army surplus store. He buys camouflage paint. He buys boots. He buys weapons. He's going hunting, right? He set this trap. This is what I was talking about. This is the best part of Killing Floor, in my opinion. And as awesome as it is, watching Reacher take all of these guys out, the truck pulls up, the guys in white jump out. Dawson is one of the guys. Dawson, the Kleiner kid, is one of the guys, not KJ, but the other one. And these guys come in, Reacher takes them out one by one in brutal fashion. And the last scene, and like I said in the last review that I did, a lot of people are upset at how much trouble he's having with some of these people. And I kind of get it. I don't know why he would have so much trouble with Dawson. Maybe Dawson was like ex-military or something. Maybe he was like a Black Ops guy at some point. I don't know. But it seems like, there is an issue here. It seems like for some reason, Reacher cannot easily defeat this guy. So they really have it out. He's the final bad guy that he takes down. The guy almost takes Reacher out, like knocks him into the pool, unconscious. It looks like he's going to drown. Last minute, Reacher comes up, kills him. As awesome as this entire scene that plays out is, it's still not as good as the book. This sequence in the book is so fantastic. Like I said, it's my favorite part of the book. I remember afterwards just feeling like, yes, this is so bad ass. Anyway, so yeah, he takes out Dawson and all of these other guys. Reacher cleans up everything, washes up, cleans his clothes, and then he gets out of the shower, and because he was like in the pool drowning earlier, right? He had one of the notes that his brother had taken in his pocket, and he notices it's like washing off, like all the lettering, all the ink is washing off, and it hits him. He has an epiphany. That is how the Kleiners' operation works. They're actually washing $1 bills and turning them into $100 bills. So they don't need new paper. They don't need to print the dollar bills. They're using chemical agents to wash the ink off and reprint them as new $100 bills. It's really clever. Like it sounds really simple and almost silly, but the whole mystery unfolding this way, I love it. I love it. This, like I said, probably my favorite episode so far. Definitely one of my favorite sequences. This and probably the prison fight. The fight with Dawson and the would-be assassins at the Hubble House and the prison fight are probably equal for me in watching this series. But in the book, taking out the assassins at the Hubble House is definitely the best part. Like I said, even better than the conclusion of the story. So Reacher and Finley go back to the truck driver's house from earlier in the episode, to his parents' house this time, though, not to his wife's house. And they find the box of counterfeit money. So he's figured it out. They're ready to go. Reacher gets a call. He's supposed to go meet up with, what's his name? Picard from the FBI, right? Remember last review I was like talking about, because I really couldn't remember this from the book. And maybe it's different. Maybe it plays out different than the book. I'm not sure. I can't remember. But I was asking, is Picard in on this? Is Picard a bad guy? And guess what? Picard's a fucking bad guy. So Reacher is on the phone with Neely, and I say it like that because her name's fucking Nagley, all right? Her name is Frances Nagley. I don't know why they pronounce it Neely in the series. It bugs me a little bit. Not enough to ruin the series. I love the character, but why? Why would you do that? Why? It doesn't look at all like Neely. Maybe it's some sort of like French soft G or something, but I never got that idea before. And if you look up pronunciations of Nagley, all you get is Negley. You don't get Neely at all. Anyway, all that aside, she's like, hey man, there's this, the guy that we thought might have been crooked for the FBI. Well, he's been dead for a while, but his partner's still around, and his name is And Reacher's like, let me guess, Picard? Because Reacher just walked in and sees Picard and a group of bad guys. And shit is getting real. I love that this episode is Reacher said nothing, because it's basically like when he's taking out all the assassins, he isn't saying a damn word. But for those who don't know, people who haven't read the books, Reacher said nothing is a commonly uttered phrase in the books. Like, it's in almost every book at some point. Like, someone will be interrogating Jack, doing something to Jack, saying something to Jack, and then it'll just say, Reacher said nothing. So the fact that they named this episode that is just another homage that they're paying to the source material, and I absolutely love it. Yeah, that's episode 7. Holy shit, we're about to get the conclusion. I'm excited to see it. I can't wait to get into episode 8. Yes, I will have my episode 8 review up tomorrow. Guys, if you're interested at all in Jack Reacher content, please subscribe to the channel. It's not the only thing I do here. I talk about other pop culture and entertainment stuff, but I do put out a lot of Jack Reacher content, not only about this series, but also about the books and about, any news that comes out about the books, about the author, about this series, all kinds of Jack Reacher stuff. So if you're interested in that, please stick around and subscribe to the channel, or favorite or follow the podcast. And if you do that, if you stick around, then I will talk to you again tomorrow. Thanks.